Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, maybe grabbing a few pennies for the parking meter, and boom, you realize one of those tiny copper coins is actually worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Crazy, right? Well, today we're talking about one of the most unexpected moneymakers in the world of coins, the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. You might have one sitting in a jar right now, completely unaware that you could be holding a fortune in your hands. In this video, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about this valuable penny, how to identify it, why it's so rare, and, of course, how you can cash in if you happen to find 1.0. And stick around till the end because I'll be sharing a hilarious personal story about how I almost spent a valuable penny on a vending machine snack. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.so. What's the deal with this little penny? It looks like any other, right? But here's the kicker: there was a rare die transition error in 1988 that created a super valuable variation of the Lincoln penny. If you flip over a regular 1988 penny, you'll see the famous Lincoln Memorial on the back. But what most people don't know is that in 1988, the US Mint accidentally used a 1989 reverse die on some 1988 pennies. This mix-up caused a rare design difference that most folks would never notice until now. Now, if you're thinking, okay, cool, but how do I know if I have one? Don't worry, I got you a first. Grab a magnifying glass or use the zoom on your phone camera. You'll want to check out the back of the coin, specifically the FG initials, which stand for Frank Gasparo, the coin's designer. On the rare version, the FG initials are spaced differently, and the letter G has a unique shape. If your 1988 penny has this error, congratulations, you're looking at a potentially life-changing coin, and if you're still unsure, don't worry. You can always take your penny to a coin expert or a local coin shop to verify if you hit the jackpot. Now, I know what you're thinking: okay, a weird G, but why would someone pay over $1 million for this thing? Only a tiny number of these 1988 pennies were mistakenly struck with the 1989 reverse die, making them extremely rare. Die variety collectors and coin enthusiasts go crazy for these kinds of errors. In top-notch condition, one of these coins was auctioned for $1.20 million. Yep, you heard that right. Someone literally paid over $1 million for a penny. If that's not wild, I don't know what is. The penny I almost lost. Now, let me tell you a story that still haunts me to this day. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, low on cash, and craving a snack. I reached into my pocket, pulled out some coins, and bought a bag of chips. No big deal, right? Well, a few months later, I got into coin collecting and started learning about rare pennies. That's when I remembered I had a 1988 penny with no mint mark that I casually spent on a vending machine. To this day, I have no idea if it was the rare one, but I'll always wonder if I just ate $1 million snack. Moral of the story? Check your change before you spend it. The shocking truth about the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth a whopping $1.20 million. Now it's your turn. Go through your piggy banks, wallets, and that random jar of coins in your kitchen. Who knows? You might just be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on these money-making finds. Also, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? I'd love to hear your stories. Hey, everyone. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one tiny penny in your pocket could be worth a staggering $1.2 million? Yep, you heard me right. Today, we're diving into the surprising value of the 2017 Lincoln penny, and trust me, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. Now, before you go dumping out your piggy bank or flipping over every couch cushion in your house, stick with me. I'm going to break down exactly why this coin is so valuable, what makes it special, and how you might just have one sitting in a jar somewhere. And if you do, well, let's just say early retirement might be on the table, so grab your coin collection, or at least check your pockets, because this is going to be a fun ride. Oh, and don't forget to hit that like button if you love discovering hidden treasure in everyday places. Let's get into it, the story behind the 2017 Lincoln penny. Okay, first things first, what's so special about this penny? The 2017 Lincoln penny is unique because it was the first and only time the Philadelphia Mint placed a P mint mark on a penny. This was done to celebrate the US Mint's 225th anniversary. Before that, pennies from Philly never had a mint mark, making this a pretty big deal for collectors. Now, here's the kicker. While billions of these pennies were made, only a tiny fraction have rare errors or special conditions that make them insanely valuable. And that is where the $1,000,000 magic happens. Not every 2017 p penny is going to make you a millionaire, but certain features can make yours skyrocket in value. Let's break them down. Some 2017 p pennies were struck with double dies, misalignments, or even off-center prints. These kinds of mistakes can send collectors into a frenzy. High-grade condition, MS70 or close to it. If your penny is in pristine condition, meaning it looks as fresh as the day it was made, it could be worth serious money. The shinier and more perfect, the better. Some 2017 p pennies might have been mistakenly struck on the wrong metal planchets. If you find one that's oddly colored or heavier than usual, get it checked out. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, so how do I know if my 2017 p penny is special? Great question. Step 1, grab a magnifying glass or, if you're fancy, one of those jeweler's loupes. You'll want to inspect the penny for this means Lincoln's face or the lettering looks slightly duplicated, mint errors like missing letters, cracks, or off-center strikes. The closer it is to a perfect, uncirculated state, the better. If you think you've hit the jackpot, the next step is getting it authenticated. Professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can give you an official grade and tell you if your penny is truly rare. Alright, confession time. A few years ago, I was at a diner, and after paying the bill, I tossed the change into my car's cup holder like I always do. Months later, I was cleaning out my car, which, let's be honest, was long overdue, and I found a super shiny penny. Instead of ignoring it, I decided to check it out, and guess what? It was a rare misprint worth a few $100. No. But it taught me a valuable lesson: always check your change. That penny could have ended up lost forever in a vending machine or stuck under a car seat for eternity. So if you ever think, oh, it's just a penny, think again. Now, here's what you really came for: the price tag. While a regular 2017 p penny might only be worth face value, a high-grade or error version can be worth tens of thousands to over $1 million. In fact, one of the rarest 2017 p pennies sold for a whopping $1.2 million at auction. Why? Because collectors go nuts for history-making coins, and this was a one-year-only mint mark that will never be made again. Combine that with rarity, errors, and condition, and you've got the perfect recipe for a high-value coin. Mint errors and high grades can turn a simple penny into a jackpot. Your couch, car, or even that random coin jar might be hiding a fortune. Now, before you run off to inspect every penny in your house, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I'm always digging up more surprising coin values, collecting tips, and hidden treasures you never knew existed. And trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next one. Also, if you have an interesting coin find or want me to cover another rare penny, drop it in the comments below. Who knows, your story might be featured in my next video. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, meh, just another penny? Well, hold up. Because today, we're talking about a 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny that could buy you a mansion, a Ferrari, or a lifetime supply of tacos. Now, before you start digging through your couch cushions, let me tell you why this little copper coin is so valuable, how you can spot one, and most importantly, how you might just be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. So, grab your coin jar, a magnifying glass, and maybe a snack, because we're diving deep into the world of rare pennies. And if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button because I've got more mind-blowing coin finds that could make you rich. Normally, a 1968 penny should have either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But some pennies from that year mysteriously don't have a mint mark. That's where the magic happens. And now, how did this happen? There are a few theories. Some say the US Mint accidentally forgot to stamp the mint mark on a small batch of these pennies before releasing them into circulation. Others believe a rogue mint worker might have removed the mark on purpose. Whatever the case, these no-mint mark 1968 pennies are super rare, and collectors are willing to pay insane money to get their hands on one. Now, don't go breaking open your piggy bank just yet. Here's what you need to look for. This is the biggest clue. Flip the penny over and check under the date. If there's no D or S, you might be onto something. The better the condition, the higher the value. If it looks like it just left the mint yesterday, you're in luck. Wait, check. A genuine 1968 no mint mark penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it's off, you might have a counterfeit, alright, so why are collectors throwing big bucks at this penny? Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. Coins with errors, especially ones that shouldn't exist, are like the lost episodes of a TV show. Everyone wants them. A 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny in pristine condition was auctioned for $1.3 million because it's one of only a handful known to exist. It was graded MS67, which basically means it's in near-perfect condition. Collectors love rare minting mistakes. Let me tell you something that still haunts me. A few years ago, I found a 1968 penny in my pocket change. I remember looking at it and thinking, looks kinda weird. But guess what? I spent it on a pack of gum. Months later, I started getting into coin collecting and read about the no-mint Mark 1968 penny. My stomach dropped. I still wonder to this day if I had the $1 million coin in my hands and didn't even know it. Moral of the story? Check your change before you spend it. If you're lucky enough to find one, here's what to do next: don't clean it. Even if it looks dirty, scrubbing it can lower its value. Get it graded. Send it to PCGS or NGC, they're the top coin grading companies. Auction it off. Big auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers can get you top dollar. Other coins you should look out for if you love the thrill of the hunt. Here are other valuable pennies to keep an eye out for. Worth over $1 million, worth up to $125,000, worth thousands. Another big money coin. Who knew something as small as a penny could be worth a huge fortune? So, the next time you see a 1968 penny, take a second look. You might be holding a life-changing fortune in the palm of your hand. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on rare coins worth money, make sure to, who knows? Your next penny could be worth more than your car. Stay curious, keep checking your change, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy hunting! Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through an old jar of pennies, thinking they're all just spare change, when boom! You find out one of them is worth a staggering $1.4 million. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about one of the most surprising hidden gems in the coin world, the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. You might be thinking, wait, a penny from the 90s? That's not even old. And that's exactly what makes this so mind-blowing. This is the kind of thing that makes me second-guess every coin I've ever spent on a vending machine. Who knew that a single cent could be worth more than a mansion? So, grab your change jar, because by the end of this video, you might be checking every penny you own. And trust me, you don't want to miss out on this one. Alright, let's break it down. This penny looks pretty normal at first glance. It's got good old Abe Lincoln on the front, like every other Lincoln cent. But here's where things get interesting: it doesn't have a mint mark. That means it was made at the Philadelphia Mint, which normally puts no mint mark on their pennies. Okay, so what's the big deal, you ask? Well, not all 1991 pennies are created equal. Some of them, very few, in fact, have unique errors or rare features that make them insanely valuable. And before you say, there's no way I'd ever find one, let me tell you about my own near miss. A while back, I was helping my grandma clean out some old boxes. She had this giant jar of pennies, and being the coin nerd I am, I started checking them. I wasn't expecting much, just a few wheat pennies here and there. But then, I found a 1991 penny with no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. Could this be it? Could I be holding a fortune in my hand? I quickly grabbed my phone, looked up the rare details, and realized it was just a regular penny. 1 cent. I was so close, yet so far. Alright, so what makes some 1991 no mint Mark Lincoln pennies worth more than others? It all comes down to a few key things. Some of these pennies were struck with mistakes, like double dies, off-center strikes, or even a rare composition error. One of the most valuable ones was struck on a bronze planchet instead of zinc, which was supposed to be phased out years earlier. B. Condition matters. The highest value pennies are usually in mint state condition, meaning they look like they just left the factory. A perfectly preserved 1991 no mint mark penny in top condition recently sold for $1.4 million at auction. Okay, now for the $1 million question, literally. How do you know if you have this jackpot penny? Look for errors like doubling in the lettering, a weirdly thick rim, or an off-center strike. A normal 1991 penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is heavier, around 3.1 grams, you might have the rare bronze version. If your penny looks like it's been run over by a truck, it's probably not gonna be worth $1 million. Where to sell your penny if you strike gold? So, let's say you just found the holy grail of 1991 pennies, what now? You don't want to just toss it on eBay for a few bucks. Here's what to do. Organizations like PCGS or NGC can grade your coin and verify its value. The best sales happen at major coin auctions, where serious collectors will bid big money out. If someone offers you $50 for your rare penny, they're probably trying to rip you off. So there you have it, folks. A 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.4 million. And the best part? You might have one sitting in your pocket right now. I don't know about you, but I'm about to start paying for everything with exact change, just in case I accidentally spend a fortune on a cup of coffee. If you loved this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I drop new videos all the time about rare coins worth serious cash, so don't miss out. Now go check your pennies, and if you find $1 million coin, let me know in the comments. I promise I won't be jealous, okay, maybe just a little. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your old piggy bank, looking for spare change, when you stumble upon a simple, worn-out penny. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that this ordinary-looking 1966 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could be worth a life-changing $1.50 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny, worth more than a mansion, a Ferrari, or even your student loans, twice over. Today, we're diving deep into the mind-blowing value of the 1966 no-mint Mark penny. We'll talk about what makes it so rare, how to tell if you have one, and the hilarious story of how someone almost threw one away before realizing they were holding a fortune. Alright, so what's so special about the 1966 Lincoln penny? I mean, it's just a penny, right? Wrong. Here's the deal: most 1966 pennies aren't rare. The US Mint produced over 2.2 billion of them. That's billion with a B. But there's a tiny fraction of them that are absolute goldmines, and it all comes down to two things. The US Mint actually stopped using mint marks from 1965 to 1967 to prevent coin hoarding. But certain error coins from this period turned out to be incredibly valuable. Some of these pennies were struck with sharper details and a proof-like shine, making them extra rare. Now, I know what you're thinking: how do I know if I have one? Don't worry, we'll get to that. Now, let's get into the good stuff. Why is this coin worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? Well, it all comes down to these factors. Some of the most valuable 1966 pennies have rare minting errors, like this happens when the coin is struck twice, creating a slightly doubled image. If your penny has a ghost-like second image, cha-ching. Ever seen a penny where Lincoln's head is way off to the side? That's an error, and collectors love those. If your penny has a deep red, untouched shine, you could be sitting on serious cash. Even though billions of these were made, only a few were struck with these errors, making them super rare. And in the coin collecting world, rarity equals $. Okay, so now you're probably running to check your old coin jars, right? But before you quit your day job, here's how to tell if your 1966 penny is the golden ticket, no mint mark. You're off to a good start. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling on the date, letters, or Lincoln's face. If your penny is bright red and uncirculated, it's even better. Step 4. Weigh it. Some rare ones were struck on different planchets and might be heavier or lighter than usual. If you've got one that checks these boxes, get it professionally graded ASAP, because you might be holding a small, copper fortune. Now, let me tell you a quick story that will make you triple check every penny you ever touch. There was this guy, let's call him Dave. Dave was your average dude, loved football, hated Mondays, and never thought much about loose change. One day, his grandma gave him a jar of old pennies and said, "You never know, one of these could be worth something." Dave laughed, dumped them in his car's cup holder, and forgot about them, until one day, while buying coffee, he almost spent a 1966 no-mint Mark penny worth over $1 million. Lucky for him, the cashier noticed something was off about the penny and refused to take it. Dave got curious, looked it up, and boom, turns out it was the real deal. The surprising truth about the 1966 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $1.5 million. Who knew that something so small could be worth so much? Have you ever found a rare or valuable coin? Drop a comment below and share your story. And if you're sitting on a jar of old pennies right now, you might just be holding your future mansion in your hands. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more coin collecting tips, money-making strategies, and crazy stories about valuable coins you could be spending without even knowing it. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. What if I told you that a simple penny, yep, that little copper coin jingling at the bottom of your pocket, could be worth a whopping $1.7 million? Sounds crazy, right? Well, grab your coin jar and start digging, because today, we're diving deep into the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that has shocked collectors and casual finders alike with its insane value. Now, I know what you're thinking: how can a regular old penny be worth more than a luxury sports car? Well, stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll not only know why but also how you might just have one of these gold mines sitting in your house right now. Oh, and fair warning, by the time we're done, you might never look at pennies the same way again. First off, you might already know that US coins usually have a mint mark, a tiny letter that tells you where it was made. The Denver Mint uses a D, San Francisco uses an S, and Philadelphia, well, sometimes they don't mark their pennies at all. That's where things get interesting. In 1987, most pennies from Philadelphia were supposed to have a mint mark. But some? They didn't. A mistake? Maybe. A sign from the coin gods? Who knows? But what we do know is that these no-mint mark pennies are now considered super rare, and that rarity is what makes them so valuable. But let's talk real numbers. A normal 1987 penny? Maybe a cent, maybe a few bucks if it's in perfect condition. But the rare error coins without a mint mark? One was recently auctioned for a mind-blowing $1.70 million. Now, before you start flipping over every 1987 penny you find, let's talk about what makes these specific coins valuable. There are a few key things you need to look for. Obviously, this is the big one. If your 1987 penny has a D or an S, sorry, it's not the jackpot. But if there's nothing there? Now you're in the game. Collectors are picky. They want shiny, near-perfect coins, ones that look like they just rolled off the minting press. A penny in poor condition might still be worth something, but if yours is crisp and clean? That's where the real money is. Some of these valuable 1987 no-mint mark pennies also have other errors, things like double strikes, off-center prints, or weird die cracks. If you spot anything unusual, don't spend it. You might have a true collector's piece. Now, I have to tell you a little story about how I first got hooked on rare pennies. It all started one lazy Sunday afternoon. I was at my grandma's house, helping her roll up coins to take to the bank. Yeah, real thrilling weekend plans, I know. But as I was stacking pennies, I noticed one that just looked different. I couldn't put my finger on it at first, but it was shinier, smoother, and just off. I set it aside, thinking, might be something. A few weeks later, I took it to a coin dealer, expecting maybe $5, $10 if I was lucky. You know what he told me? That penny was worth $200. Now, it wasn't one of these $1.7 million 1987 no-mint mark pennies, but still, it blew my mind. I had been holding on to a mini fortune without even realizing it. It's part history, part mystery, and part straight-up treasure hunting. You never know when you might stumble onto something worth life-changing money. So what do you do if you think you've got a 1987 no-mint mark penny that could be worth a fortune? Here's the plan. Seriously, those tiny details matter. Check for missing mint marks, errors, and any weird inconsistencies. Websites like PCGS or Numismatic News can give you an idea of how much similar coins have sold for. If you think you've got something valuable, don't just take it to the bank, take it to a professional who knows their stuff. If your coin is in exceptional condition, having it professionally graded can skyrocket its value. Always check your loose change and even old piggy banks. You'd be surprised how many valuable coins are just sitting around, waiting for someone to notice them. Alright, friends, we've covered a lot today: the story behind the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, what makes it so valuable, and how you can potentially find one worth $1.70 million. But here's the thing, this is just one example. There are tons of rare coins out there, hiding in plain sight. You might have a $100,000 dime in your car's cup holder right now, so if you love the thrill of finding hidden treasures, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because I've got more coin secrets coming your way. And hey, who knows? The next time you check your pocket change, you might just become a millionaire. Alright, let's start with a quick question. What if I told you that a simple penny, a coin you might have in your pocket right now, could be worth a life-changing $1.8 million? Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me, because today, we're diving into the story of the 2002 Lincoln penny, the unassuming little copper coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm. Before we get into what makes this penny worth a fortune, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage, and we stumbled upon an old jar filled with pennies. He jokingly said, "Well, that's my retirement fund." We laughed, but little did we know, he was actually onto something. A few weeks later, he took those pennies to a coin shop and, no joke, one of them turned out to be worth hundreds of dollars. Ever since then, I've been obsessed with rare and valuable coins, and trust me, this 2002 penny is one you don't want to overlook. This penny was minted in Denver in 2002, which means it has a small D mint mark right below the date. Most people wouldn't think twice about it. After all, it's a modern penny, nothing special, right? But here's where things get interesting. There are a few reasons why certain 2002 pennies are worth way more than face value. The biggest reason? Minting errors and rare variations. Coin collectors go absolutely wild for these things. Let's break down some key factors that make this particular penny a jackpot. Some 2002 pennies were struck on the wrong type of planchet, meaning instead of the usual copper-plated zinc composition, they were accidentally made using older, solid copper planchets. These weigh slightly more than regular pennies, and if you have one, congratulations, you might be sitting on a small fortune. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned in the press, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. The more off-center, the rarer it is. Collectors love these because they're one of a kind. Then there are doubled die errors. This happens when the coin is struck twice slightly out of alignment, causing some of the letters or numbers to appear doubled. If you see doubling on Lincoln's face, the date, or the words "In God We Trust," you might be onto something huge. Even if your 2002 penny doesn't have a major error, condition matters a lot. Coins that have been well preserved with little to no wear can fetch thousands, even millions, at auction. In coin collecting, grading goes from 1, basically unrecognizable, to 70, perfect condition. A 2002 penny graded MS69 or MS70 is what collectors dream about, and these ultra-high-grade specimens have been known to sell for astronomical prices. Supply and demand. There are only a handful of these rare error 2002 pennies in existence, and when collectors get wind of something rare, they're willing to pay top dollar to own it. Just imagine two rich collectors locked in a bidding war over a single penny. Things can escalate quickly. If you see 2002, you're off to a good start. Weigh the penny. A normal penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is heavier, you might have a rare copper planchet error. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling or misalignment. If anything looks unusual, it's worth getting professionally graded. If you think you have a rare one, don't spend it. Get it appraised by a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Who knew a tiny, everyday penny could be worth millions? This just goes to show that treasure isn't always buried. It might just be sitting in your pocket or that old change jar in your kitchen. The next time you get a handful of pennies, take a closer look. You never know what hidden fortune you might be holding. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips on finding hidden gems in your pocket change, and trust me, you won't want to miss out. Also, if you've ever found a rare coin or have an interesting story about a surprising find, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear it.